Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Greetings, and thanks for joining us for the National Chemistry Week 2019 Coordinator Workshop. I'm David Horowitz, and I'll be your host for today's broadcast. I'm a program manager in the ACS Office of Science Outreach. I manage ACS's public awareness campaigns, National Chemistry Week, and Chemists Celebrate Earth Week, as well as other outreach programs designed to support you and other ACS members' passion for sharing chemistry with the public. We will also be hearing from Dr. Janet Asper, co-chair for the Tools and Training Subcommittee of the Committee on Community Activities. Janet is an alternate counselor from the Virginia Local Section and a professor of chemistry at the University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So to provide you with some background, today's webinar is designed to train new coordinators, provide a refresher for experienced coordinators, and provide updates about resources for all NCW event planners. While the workshop is geared to official NCW coordinators, it will also be very helpful for other ACS members planning all types of events for National Chemistry Week. During the webinar, we'll cover a quick overview about the National Chemistry Week program. We'll discuss ways to celebrate National Chemistry Week in your area. We'll talk about standard and new resources for planning NCW events. We'll work through 2 of the themed activities from our kids' publication, Celebrating Chemistry, and we'll end with a live Q&A. If you have questions throughout the webinar, please use the questions panel to send us a note. And we'll save your comments and questions for the live Q&A session after the presentation. Of note, if you've taken the new Outreach Training Program online course via the ACS Learning Management System, some of the slides will sound very familiar, such as the overview and background of NCW, as well as some of the resources, our standard resources. However, you want to stay tuned to hear about the possible ways to participate in NCW, and then the themed activity ideas and the live Q&A. So before we get started, let's take a quick poll to see who we have on here. So how long have you been planning events for National Chemistry Week? Select one of the following options. First, 0 years, I'm brand new. 1 to 3 years, I'm still learning. 4 to 8 years, I'm tired. 9 to 15 years, I can't stop. And 16 plus years, National Chemistry Week forever. I'll give you 5 more seconds to respond. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, it looks like we have some very experienced coordinators on the call. We have 54% of you have planned events for National Chemistry Week for over 16 years, and then 15% have planned events for 9 to 15 years, 1 to 3 years, and we have a good amount, 15% of you have never planned an event for National Chemistry Week. So thanks for coming. We're glad you're here, and we hope you'll learn from today's presentation. So first, let's talk about the National Chemistry Week program in general. It's celebrated annually during the 4th week of October. The program unites ACS local sections, student chapters, technical divisions, businesses, schools, and science enthusiasts in communicating the importance of chemistry to the public at the local, national, and global levels, hopefully to make a positive change in the public's impression of chemistry. The campaign takes place at the local grassroots level by providing members with training and resources on how to conduct hands-on science and other types of events. The campaign also takes place at the national level by providing digital assets and language for our members to communicate the importance of chemistry online and via social media. The program started in 1986 when then President George Pimentel had a big idea to organize a national event celebrating the impact that chemistry has on our everyday lives. And his idea led to the planning of the first National Chemistry Day, which took place in 1987. National Chemistry Day expanded to a biennial week-long celebration, National Chemistry Week, in 1989, and it became an annual celebration starting in 1993, and it continues to be the leading outreach program for ACS. There are so many different ways that ACS local sections, student groups, and others celebrate National Chemistry Week every year. The New York local section teams up with the New York Hall of Sciences and 19 universities and nonprofit organizations to host an annual National Chemistry Week event for 1,200 attendees. The Northeast Tennessee local section works with Eastman Chemical to provide 1,400 students a day of chemistry. The Puget Sound local section teams up with a local ACS student chapter to visit 23 middle school classrooms. And the Permian Basin local section works with 3 high school chem clubs to host tables of activities at the local mall and during the annual homecoming float parade. And those 4 examples are really great for showing the kind of breadth of activities that our local sections do, whether that you're a large or a very large local section to whether you're a small or very small local section. There are a lot of things that you can do around National Chemistry Week to build your community in your area by partnering with museums and universities, but also making sure that you're getting in touch with your ACS student chapters and high school chem clubs. So last year, we had the highest level of participation in National Chemistry Week in 10 years, since 2008. We had 91% of ACS local sections participating. We distributed 167,000 issues of Celebrating Chemistry. ACS local sections interacted with more than 75,000 people at in-person events, and online we reached more than 25 million. So currently, 88% of local sections are participating in National Chemistry Week 2019, and we hope to get more than 91%. Hopefully we can recruit and onboard some local sections by October 20th. So as you hopefully know by now, this year we're celebrating National Chemistry Week during the International Year of the Periodic Table with the theme Marvelous Metals from October 20th to 26th. And there's a lot of great resources online to help you participate in the campaign. So now let's hear from Janet, who will talk about the ways ACS groups can participate in this year's campaign and the resources available to local section coordinators and also other members planning events.
Thank you so much, David, and thanks to all of you for taking the time to tune in and listen to us today. Oh. Thanks, David. Let's see where I am here. Let's see. Oh, hang on. First time doing this and I'm having a glitch here. Okay, so we've got 5 major ways to celebrate.
See your slides.
Okay, let me go see where I am. Let's see, showing PowerPoint. Let's see.
There we go. I see your 5 major ways to celebrate.
Thank you so much. So we've got 5 major ways to celebrate, and David's examples, 1,000 plus people coming, 23 schools, it can seem really overwhelming. So what I hope to do is let everybody see that you don't have to necessarily start huge. And also for those of you that have been, the 50% of you that have been doing this for a while, maybe give you some new ideas of some things to try and maybe to delegate to somebody else to try, more importantly. So your 5 things that you can do is the hands-on science event, a community service event, the illustrated poem contest, ordering and distributing Celebrating Chemistry, and spreading the word, which is actually one of my favorites. So who's taking care of the poll? Have you got that for me, David?
Yep, launched.
So how do you plan to celebrate NCW? And you can select one or more of the following. Are you planning this hands-on event, community service, illustrated poem, ordering and distributing Celebrating Chemistry, or spreading the word?
Okay, we'll give you 5 more seconds to respond. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and it looks like 94% of our viewers are planning on hosting a hands-on science event. That's amazing. 76% are ordering and distributing Celebrating Chemistry. 71% are spreading the word. 53% are hosting a poem contest, and 29% are planning to host a community service event.
Excellent. So this should be easy. I'm preaching to the choir on a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Let's see, am I back over here yet? So the hands-on science event, which as many of you are already doing, 94%, don't need to tell you too much about this. Please never forget to request insurance. Make sure that you're partnering in advertising. And later on in the webinar, I'll show you some of the tools we've got, especially the social media tools for advertising. Make sure that you're taking and sharing your photos, handing out your promos, which I'll tell you how to get those in a little bit. Afterwards, thanking your partners and volunteers. And also, it's not on the slide, but remembering to write up a report and send it around. Send it back to your local section. If you've got students participating from a university, send the report to their faculty. There's a lot that can come out of that that is actually really valuable. Every celebration, both CCW and NCW, we, as a committee, we try to put together a community service event to be tied into the theme. And these are really neat. With Marvelous Metals, recycling is kind of a no-brainer to do as a community service event. So either organizing a recycling event in your community or taking a field trip to your local recycling center. Now, the neat thing about these, if you can, especially if you can get them published and get them to the channels where parents tend to see things, because these events tend to be free. And I know I get on my local Facebook mom channels every week looking for free stuff to do. This sort of thing would be really engaging. The other community to try to engage in some of your outreach and the community service events are your homeschoolers. I'm friends with several homeschoolers in the Fredericksburg, Virginia area, and they're always chomping at the bit for something like this. And they're a very energetic community, and they're very eager to participate. They just like help with stuff. Next up is the illustrated poem contest. I saw where about half of you are already planning to do that. The illustrated poem contest, you're going to, the entry is handled by the local section coordinator. There's 4 grade levels, K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. There's the grades. And at each grade level, there's a $300 first prize and a $150 second prize, and that is for the national competition. So it's an easy one to do because you're not trying to haul tubs of goggles and water and everything to an event. The only logistics you've really got to work out is your deadline. So as local section coordinators, you'll need to have your first and second place winners at each of your grade levels sent to national by Sunday, November the 3rd. So you'll want to set the deadline for your own illustrated poem contest early enough that you can do the judging and everything there. So that's the only trick with that one, is getting those logistics worked out. In the illustrated poem contest, the rules and everything are spelled out on the NCW page. David, did I forget anything on that one? I know that was a program that I wasn't as familiar with.
No, I think you did everything perfectly.
Excellent.
Oh, but one clarification,
Yes.
Coordinators receive the link directly through coordinator communications emails to that online submission form for the national contest, and they only need the first place winner for their local section. It moves on to the national.
Okay. Thank you. I've not coordinated that one here in Virginia, so a few of the details weren't quite there. Ordering and distributing Celebrating Chemistry. You're going to order through the ACS store. Show you that in a little bit. And there's lots of places you can hand it out. You can hand it out at hands-on science events. If you have a community service event, drop it off at the local schools. Hand it out at local section meetings. Some of the local section members may take it home, pass it on to somebody else, that sort of thing. The other thing that I'll talk about in a couple slides is the idea of the digital format of Celebrating Chemistry. I find that one to be particularly useful. But definitely get your Celebrating Chemistries out there. Spreading the word. With social media, we have the opportunity to market NCW really effectively and really organically. It's just a matter of doing it well, which I know is what I struggle with a lot of times with social media. On the website, there are links to lots of resources, social media text and images that can be used to get your good posts out there. The design toolkit, again, has the images needed for Marvelous Metals. There's some talking points about the ACS, and the ACS Public Relations Guidebook is phenomenal. There are sample documents there, 8 of them that are specifically geared to National Chemistry Week, including press releases for outreach events and the illustrated poem contest. So tons of resources there. You don't have to make any of this yourself. The ACS staff has done it for you. So I'd like to talk about some of the specific resources for NCW 2019 that are out there. The educational resources on this slide, you see the rusty bolt. That's actually a video that's at the bottom of the educational resources page. The metals and magnetism activity is available at our resources. And I love the metal fortune teller. I'm actually going to be printing that at the University Copy Center and handing those out to my class because I just think it's so cute. Except they probably don't know how to fold them anymore. Dating myself a bit.
That's okay. But there's instructions on the bottom of the paper for how to fold it.
That'll be awesome. Well, and I can show them too. I'm of the proper age. But all of this is available at acs.org/NCW. Now, as I alluded to earlier, there's also the digital versions of Celebrating Chemistry available for download there, the PDF. I love the digital version. I like to just put the link to the PDF on my Facebook page, put it on my department's Facebook page. It gets that information out. And like I said, I'm friends with the homeschooling community. Several of my friends pick up on that and are actually already starting to bug me about when I'm going to be putting Celebrating Chemistry up. So the other amazing thing about Celebrating Chemistry is, remember, there are no dates on it, so you can use it whenever you want. So if it turns out that you're maybe not able to do something this year, which would be tragic, but that you could actually use this resource later, or if you're invited to do an event somewhere and with a different theme, you can always pull in Celebrating Chemistry. And again, that's at acs.org/celebratingchemistry. At the ACS store, you can get your promotional items, stickers, tattoos, pencils. The wallet periodic tables are awesome. I actually hand those out to my college classes, and they use them in some of the classes where our periodic tables are in strange places, like behind projector screens. The nice really thing is that everything there is being sold at cost. So we're not in it for profit. We're in it to actually get the materials in your hands so that you can get chemistry promoted with swag, because kids like swag. I have 8-year-olds, they love it. And that's at acs.org/store. A couple new exciting resources that are available at the store is the rectangular banner that you see on your screen. That is a 10-foot by 3-foot outdoor banner that you can imagine attaching to a tent or attaching to a folding table where you're doing your outreach event. And also the National Chemistry Week volunteer buttons, which are a really nice way to make obvious who the volunteers are, who people can ask questions to, probably also much more affordable than doing t-shirts. So those are exciting things, and I'm looking forward to ordering a few of those. As I said earlier, lots of stuff available on the website, and I didn't want to make anybody seasick jumping back and forth between the website, but at acs.org/NCW is the design toolkit with the graphics. As you're putting things out on social media, help us go viral. Hashtag NCW, hashtag National Chemistry Week, hashtag Marvelous Metals. If you're a twit who likes to tweet, at ACS_NCW, and on Facebook, National Chemistry Week. And again, the more, this is nice marketing because it's easy to get or easy to do, but can help us reach a wide audience very quickly. Now, when you're on the acs.org NCW page, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a blue rectangular box that is for the National Chemistry Week Facebook calendar. And that calendar has over 30 events already listed all over the country. And what that blue box is going to let you do is promote your event on the National Chemistry Week page for the ACS. So it's going to let us kind of cross-pollinate each other and cross-market each other through different activities. So that'll help. And also, if you're, feel free to share the check for local events in your area link on your own social media pages. Again, if you have friends that are in a different geographic area that may not be able to attend your event, help them get plugged into something there. And so that's actually super exciting. Resources. One of the most important things that we can do is thank our volunteers and thank the partners that help us bring these activities. In the pictures you see here, what you see is a plaque that is what is presented in our Salutes to Excellence. Salutes to Excellence is a program specifically aimed at recognizing the partners who help us do outreach that aren't necessarily ACS members, in fact, that are not ACS members. So what you see in the other photos are ACS President Bonnie Carpenter and last year's ACS President Peter Dorhut presenting the Salutes to Excellence to the directors at the science museums where CCA held outreach events. Bonnie was presenting to the museum in Philadelphia. Peter was presenting at the Children's Museum in Boston. Our committee does outreach events in conjunction with the national meeting, and we love presenting our Salutes to Excellence to those partners. You could also use the Salutes to Excellence if you have a sponsor that's been very generous. That would be a great way to recognize them. All kinds of interesting things you could do. Maybe you have a legislator, somebody involved in your community that's been really promoting science. This would be a great way to acknowledge them. ncwlookup.acs.org is the platform where you will hopefully be found by people who are looking for you. People put in their zip code and be able to find all of the coordinators by region. You could also use this again if you're looking, say you have family in another area of the country and you're trying to find some stuff for them to do, you could use this also. Maybe find a coordinator who's nearby and partner and do something fun together. The sky's the limit, but that's how you're going to be found. Now the good part, the actual activity ideas. This is the part that the CCA members love, is coming up with our activities. Activity 1, which is in the Celebrating Chemistry, that's available online and in the ACS store. This one is called Let's Do Chemistry with a Penny. In the activity, you're going to take a brown, dirty, yucky penny, and you're going to put it into different solutions with a piece of aluminum foil. Some of those are going to be water, salt water, vinegar water, and we're going to look and see which solutions are going to produce the redox reaction, the oxidation reduction reaction between the aluminum and the copper that's going to convert that spongy copper oxide into a copper solution, or into a soluble form of copper that's going to then expose a shiny, clean surface of the penny. Just like all of our CCA activities, this has been vetted for safety not only by our committee, but the ACS Committee on Chemical Safety uses common solids and liquids, stuff you can buy anywhere. The chemical reaction is visible. They can see the solution turning blue. They can see bubbles forming. And in the end, the pennies are shiny. I can't wait to do this at home with my children, except I have this fear that they're going to like clean every penny in my house. One of the really interesting things is if you leave the penny out for an extended period of time. So the directions talk about leaving it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or an hour. It actually turns out that if you don't rinse the pennies off with the solution and you just leave them overnight, you'll actually get the actual green oxide layer, so that the pennies will actually look like the Statue of Liberty. That's another way to take the activity and take it one step further. So that one's a really great activity. Activity number 2 is a little tidier, don't need as much water, which is sometimes a good thing. This is magnetic metals, and in this activity you're going to be taking aluminum paper clips and you're going to be rubbing them against the, no, they're not aluminum in this one, my bad. You're going to take a paper clip and you're going to rub it against the magnet to make it temporarily magnetic, and then letting the kids go through with their newly made magnets and attract other magnets. They can maybe dive into the recycling bin like a bunch of little squirrels and see what their paper clips will attach to, be attracted to. And if you're doing this at an outreach event, maybe bring a handful of metal recyclables and let them sort them out. Like I said, what I love about this one is it's clean, it's cheap, it's low entry. I mean, it's paper clips. What could be easier? One of the really exciting things that CCA has put together, and it's been mostly the ACS staff side of CCA, is the new outreach training program. If you've done any of the ACS leadership trainings, the online versions, this has been put together in very much the same way with respect to the quality of the production and everything else. And this is a free on-demand course to help get you oriented from soup to nuts on outreach. And actually my favorite is part 2, safety and outreach settings. These are things, again, that you can do online. Their classes are about an hour each, and if you complete the quiz with it, you will be you'll have a certificate of completion and be able to put this on resumes, that sort of thing. I am actually going to be implementing this in a class. We have a independent study program here at the university, and one of the things they can do is do science outreach, and this webinar is going to be part of that course now, or this series of courses, because I really like the stuff that's there. The 7 titles are Introduction and History of Outreach, Safety and Outreach Settings, Event Planning and Fundraising, Communicating Through Hands-on Activities, Marketing and Partnership, Leading Volunteers, and then number 7, Monitoring and Sustaining Success. There's 246 people currently enrolled in the Outreach Training Program online course. The workshop's also being put into some of the national meetings and regional meetings. So if you're one that gets to those meetings, you want to keep an eye on it there, but doing it at home may be a better option, and that is actually on my to-do list for Christmas break. We've done it in person, I believe, once, and like I said, there's 246 people currently completing it online. Here's some of the reviews from the course. I really loved the Maryland coordinators' comment about that they've been doing outreach for 25 years and have a good idea what to do, but that marketing and partnering and just thinking about things a different way. We can all think about things a different way, and this is a really nice way to get that in a manageable chunk without having to drive across the country and participate. Everything you need from soup to nuts is at www.acs.org/NCW, and when you can't find it on the website, I know sometimes I look at that website and I can't find my nose on my face on the website, drop an email to outreach@acs.org. ACS staff is able to go, it was right there, just scroll down a little further, or help you navigate to the right page. And also, if you have any additional questions, if there's a resource that you'd love to see on the website and it's not there yet, send that to us too. My subcommittee, Tools and Training, we're always trying to predict what tools and trainings we need to put in your hands as coordinators, but we're trying to guess it from inside, and we don't know what you don't know, and we don't know what you want. So when you can send us a little note about, hey, I really wish you did such and such, we will certainly take that into account. ACS Outreach News, stay informed. This is at the bottom of the NCW page. You can enter your email there so that you can get the email announcements. They're not coming out daily or weekly like the PTA emails, but they're coming out bi-monthly during the campaigns. So that'll help keep you in the loop as you're planning. You can also reach out to the outreach team through Facebook and Twitter, and of course the email address like I had mentioned earlier. And that's all I've got. I hope that there's some questions out there that David and I can answer for you. I may have to jet in a little bit to a meeting, and in that case, David, I'm sure, can actually take care of things far better than I can. But thank you again for tuning in.
Yeah, and thank you, Janet, for helping us run through all that information, and especially your perspective from the committee on community activities. I think it's great to for coordinators to hear that all of these resources come from members themselves and governance, and so. I hope that our coordinators know that they can always email us and that we always forward comments or suggestions on to the appropriate governance team. For example, we had a National Chemistry Coordinator last year or during Chemists Celebrate Earth Week who wanted the rubric for the illustrated poem contest that the National Committee uses to judge the poems. And so we have uploaded that online to the illustrated poem contest page. So for the 50% of you on this call who are hosting an illustrated poem contest, if you feel like it'll make things easier for you, go and check out the illustrated poem contest page and look for the sample rubric that you can use to judge your poems. But I think we're really good at interfacing with between the coordinators and governance and making sure that the decision makers are getting all the questions and concerns.
David, I went ahead and switched over to the NCW website just to let people see where things are. You can actually see that now we have these pull downs. So there's plan an event. There's the events that we talked about, spread the word, the educational resources, all the amazing things there. Where are we? Right there. The Foldy fortune teller thing was right there, the ChemCatcher. Again, the design toolkit that we talked about with the logos, the social media, you name it, it's all there. So I always feel like I need to see what I'm actually looking at.
Absolutely. And we recently even took out the educational resources was under plan and event. And we took that out to the top navigational bar so that not just our members, but that the public who are coming there for easy hands-on activity ideas for the home or enrichment settings, that they can find that without difficulty. So the point is there that we hear your feedback. Let us know if you ever have any questions or concerns or any needs, and we'll make sure to make something happen. And now let's move on to, we have one question so far. So if you have questions, please go ahead and send them in now. We had one from Michelle DeWitt. She is the National Chemistry Coordinator for the Western Michigan section, and they're hosting an event on Saturday, October 19th at the Kelly Family Sports Center, and they're actually making the world's largest periodic table. They have 16 tables of hands-on activities, face painting, poster contest, and demo shows by area chemists. It's a free event. It's open to the public. And for their periodic table, I think it's plastic tablecloths. I've seen a few news clips and press releases and stuff, but plastic tablecloths for each of the element that'll take up the entire football field. So it should be really cool. But her question is, can we expand on insurance for our event? And for everybody here, for all the coordinators or event planners, ACS provides free event insurance if your events are happening through your ACS local section or technical division. If you go to the, Janet, if you go to the plan a hands-on event on your browser.
Sorry for the clatter, I just knocked my scissors off my desk.
No, that's okay. Since we're still showing your screen, if you just click on the plan an event part. Oh.
Okay, I'm getting there.
Yeah, a hands-on science event. That second link down, right? That's coverage. and the request for insurance. And so you can go ahead and see the request and the insurance form there. But to give you a little background, we maintain a comprehensive business insurance policy. And one of the coverages includes this general liability that protects ACS local sections, divisions, and ACS as a whole against liability claims arising from acts by ACS or people that are acting on behalf of ACS. And so this is not an accident policy, is what's been made clear. So it's not just a policy that pays anyone who's injured. This is specifically for legal liability when it comes to protecting the society, local sections, and technical divisions. And so that's up to $1 million for comprehensive general liability. It also covers comprehensive automotive liability, workers' compensation, employer's liability, and a dishonesty bond. So if you go to the website and click on that coverage, you can download the PDF and learn more. And if you have any other questions, you should definitely contact Sullivan in the Office of the Treasurer. His contact information is on both the event insurance coverage document as well as the request form. Let's see. So we have another question. My college chemistry clubs are not following my safety instructions and ramp. What resources or links do you suggest, Janet?
Oh, absolutely. The outreach training course. That course is really amazing. That was where I would send them. And I know students will do what students will do, but I think, really impressing upon them that if you're not gonna do it my way, it's gonna affect your recommendation letters, that sort of thing, may be something that you can do. My students are all really totally wound up about safety right now because past president Peter Dorhut was just here talking about safety. So they're all ramped up right now. Mm-hmm. But like I said, maybe showing the outreach training course, that hour-long course, getting some pizza and some soda and getting them to watch it and talk about it together. Because it's something that we've got to be very cognizant of. And also, parents ask about it. I find when we do our outreach events at national meetings, when I'm not behind a table and I'm just kind of circulating, I engage a lot of the parents, and being able to say, these are safe activities is something that's very important to them and takes a lot of the fear away. So like I said, one thing you might want to do, again, I'm being train of thought, I'm sorry, it's going to be a long day. If you did say maybe show the outreach training video for the course for the safety, have door prizes. I got a couple nerdy chemistry t-shirts and had them as door prizes for a career event at my university, and I had the highest turnout I'd ever had. So maybe something like that to incentivize them might get them more interested and get the buy-in that you need, that they follow safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the ACS website for safety is just www.acs.org/safety, and there will be buckets easy for RAMP and for other safety resources. On the National Chemistry Week webpage, you'll find the links to the safety guidelines for community activities. So if they're not listening to your suggestions, they may listen to ACS's suggestions or recommendations for safety. But I will say RAMP has been a really great concept and somewhat very motivating, because it's not just about making sure that the activity that you're conducting is safe. It's about communicating that with every participant that comes to a table. And so even to that 6-year-old or that 4th grader who is coming to your activities, knowing that chemists are constantly thinking about safety is part of the lesson. It's not just something that you need to take into account when you're designing your activities. And so teaching college students about how to teach safety empowers them with new information, makes them feel like the expert, not just in chemistry, but also in chemical safety. And that can be really motivating for students.
Actually, if anybody's interested, Dr. Dorhat's talk here at UMW, we actually live streamed it and have it on YouTube. So if anybody was interested in getting that YouTube video to show to your students, my students loved it. He did safety. He described safety in terms of the movie The Princess Bride. So if you'd like to get that YouTube link from me, please drop me an email. I'm at Jasper, Jasper, @umw.edu, or you can email David and he can forward it to me. I'd be happy to send you that link, and that might be something that you could use to be a little more to get the students to buy in on safety.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And let's see, it looks like we don't have any more questions. So without delay, I guess I want to thank you again, Janet, for your help in talking about our resources and how to participate for this year's campaign.
Thank you for the invitation, David.
Of course. And then I want to say thanks to everybody on the call today for joining us. And we're really excited about this campaign. We've made a lot of new changes this year, like the updated website and some of those updated resources in the online store, but also educational resources. And we always want to keep on improving. So if you ever have any ideas or suggestions, please let us know. We're always here to help and support your celebrations. And so good luck with your National Chemistry Week events in a couple weeks, and we can't wait to see pictures and comments and all of the events that are happening. We'll see it online, and we'll see it after the fact. So thank you again for celebrating, and have a great day. Bye, Janet.
Bye, David.